Hello everyone, welcome to today's video. I am excited. We're going to be talking about love, and we are going to be thinking about as if you just got back from the planet Venus and you're coming back to gravity on Earth and reality of gravity in terms of what is the cause and effect when it comes to love and not staying true to yourself in relationships where you and another person are like one-on-one, like a lot of the time, and you receive whatever it is that this person gives in the form of what they think is love. And it is all based off of the cause and effect in terms of you and your authenticity, and in the moment realizing what you really need for you in the benefit of only you. And this is something where being true to yourself also means you have to put yourself out there as if it's a very vulnerable bit of information that previously you were fearful of, like how other people will respond, react when they like hear whatever it is that you have to be honest about with. It's something though that the focus point is on you and what you're going to be doing with whatever it is that you do in the moment as you do it. Because y'all, literally other people can do whatever they want in terms of acting out of them. If it's not true to them though, in terms of how they're like saying they're coming off and then how they really are, it's something about how remembering that no matter in terms of how someone says they are in a connection, it's about their actions that will speak the loudest in way of what they don't show you in the connection. Because there's something about how this connection was supposed to be very effortless, and it's through the whole realization that through the chaos you lost what you felt was effortless. It's something about incredibly so through what previously was so chaotic for you specifically in connections that like ended not the best, where you're like suffering. There's something about how you will connect with someone who allows you to feel support in those areas where you're going to see a lot of changes I'm getting within your own specific life, where you're going to be maturing in different ways. And there's something about wanting to allow yourself specifically to tune into giddy like energy, where it's like childlike excitement for the future that's to come. Yeah, annoyingly, I know it's going to be like where you're going to be like the child that asks, are we there yet? Can I go to the bathroom? Or like maybe the elder that also does that, you know what I mean? It's something about it where it's like you have these urges, desires to finally reach your destination, to finally physically like lock lips with them. But there's something about, because it's like you're really wanting to be with this like true person that like it's something about it, the more that you stay true to yourself and the incredible miraculous like changes that happen in terms of you within you, because it's like this liberation of ease where you no longer feel so restrained in turn of who you really are, because it's out there. And it's like whatever is done out there, it's something about realizing how it's not you in terms of whatever it is that's kind of about you. It's about how it is you respond when it comes to learning about all these different things with other people in terms of tying you to their own actions that has led to connections that were destroyed. And it was based off of something about this person or these connections previously. I'm getting it's something about how your reputation has been really much so looked upon in the shadow-like way, really enhanced, because these people, in terms of being connected with you, wanted you to be seen in a really like ugly light, when in the most natural way, like you are a very, very beautiful person. And so this is something about how you're releasing and forgiving a lot of ugly illusions and beliefs and opinions that aren't even yours, that never started as you. They were like created from destruction that isn't like even yours to deal with, yours to do with in the first place. You were AWOL at the time. You were like gone doing stuff for yourself, and these people, I'm getting like, oh man, I don't know y'all, but I'm getting like, the more you stay true to yourself, the more you're going to also see other people around you who were not true to you about who they really were, in terms of who they were as they were connecting with you, the way you were with them. Where you're realizing also you gave love in different ways to people who were putting on different illusions, if you will, like social masks, in way where they have more experience in terms of these putting on masks. And so it's something about the way that you had inexperience when you separated and went AWOL. I'm getting that you were able to get your own kind of power back from this, because it's also the influence isn't as strong for you. And so you're able to get back into your own influence. What do you call it? Discernment. That's it. Like discernment, something like that. And it's like your own kind of, if you will, language of like love, where I know we have all of our own languages of love, where it's like we give others love and we receive love from others, but it's this love that you have for yourself that will help motivate you and push you through. When I'm telling you, like, you feel like when it comes to love, there is no more because of what people put you through. When you like had just the intention of wanting to grow and love and prosper in your own, with others around you, like wanting to support you just the same as you did for them. And they were, with intention, being deceitful and lying. And that's something on them, and not for you to ever need to drag with you behind you as if it's yours. That's not for you. It's something where you can like describe in a way of coming from it and how you strengthen yourself and really, really allow yourself to see how strong it is that you're connected to loving yourself even more. How is it, personally, like I would love to know how it is that you connect even more to loving yourself. Is it by being honest with yourself? Is it by speaking up? Is it by setting boundaries? What is it that's so different, where before you might have got walked on like you were already dead? I totally get you there. And now you're like standing up for yourself in way of separation. Like the best way to stand up is to walk away. That's a way to stand and say, this is where I'm at. This is where I draw the line. This is where I'm not willing to put any more energy into the connection that would be about love. It's something about, I don't know what it is, but it's like justice, the energy of justice, the energy of karma. And it's like what you put in a connection when it no longer is there is now what you get out of it. Everything on the physical deteriorates eventually. Ooh, King of Wands was on the bottom too. Yeah, absolutely. Like understanding why it is that you feel super connected to someone. And the emotional. Wow, when y'all. Whew, it's getting nice and steamy in here. Is it a sauna? Luke's looking behind you guys at me. Luke, is it a sauna in here? Nice and steamy, eh? Huh? Yeah. He's in his little box. The Empress, y'all, get out. Like, you're literally in this Empress kind of area. Something about it where it's like you put yourself out there, like in the Empress, where it's like you just naturally want this connection to keep moving. And so it's something about how you putting yourself out there in a way where in society they would be like, oh, the masculine would kind of like, you know, the, if you will, if it was like a person who identifies like as a guy and a person who identifies as a gal, right? Or maybe the more masculine, the more dominating kind of person in the connection. Someone like who would go forward first would be like the alpha, if you will. Now this person, if you will, you kind of went forward in a way where you're equal in turn of being alpha as well. And so it's something where you both are leaders of your own in the way that you've built your own lives, I'm getting. And this is really cool because that's what the whole emotional exchange is like, I'm getting it's something about it, how it might be in related to how you both exchanged in the way of emotional. That's like, how would I put it? Yeah, it's like the energy of the Empress. And so this allows you to really feel the whole confidence that how you're going in the direction that you're going is true to you. In terms of what happens on the physical, that's something that will be, I would say it's really allowing yourself to simplify what is the important thing to focus on when it comes to like in the moment balancing. For as you move forward with the Page of Pentacles, you're going to make misjudgments on like moving forward in different directions. It's this whole thing of you will stumble. Like this person is totally like juggling, if you will, but with juggling incredibly, like I got into it, it's so cool. But with juggling, it's something about how your body will naturally pick up as you go, as you practice, because we all are masters of our own domain. We all are masters of our own like web page. Like life is literally life is no, I won't do that. But like life is so important, and you are life itself. Like you are literally what you put on display. The emotions you put on display is how it is that life is expressed through you in the moment that it is. And if anyone is trying to take away you and your authenticity from feeling like you matter in the moment, they are not someone that you really need in terms of feeling like in the moment, which everyone rightfully deserves to feel in the moment in their lives. When you look at your emotions, right? It's something about realizing that that's the emotion you need to feel in this moment. It's this emotion that will wake you up. Wake me up inside. Save me. It's Evanescence. Is it Wake Me Up Inside? I don't know. We got Judgment and 9 of Swords. Allowing yourself that liberation, the freedom of this illusion that you have to keep this up because it's sacrificing your welfare, y'all. Like nothing in your life that is outside of you should ever be of reason to sacrifice within you. This is what you control. You can't control in terms of that. So if you can't control in terms of outside of you and it's making you feel suffering within, it's time to liberate in terms of caring about it ever, until you feel like you care for yourself. Oh boy, let me tell you something. And this might also mean, okay, like whatever role it is in different connections that you are in that makes you feel like you're in this state, allow yourself to separate from the role. And I know it's going to feel as though you're going to be telling this other person that you don't care, but the main emphasis is you do, because you realize like in the state of the 9 of Swords, however it is that you give love is love that's going to be from this state. And if you really want to give love to another in this state, like you're going to be urging them, motivating them to be in this state as well. And so in connections, if one person feels this way, if you feel this way, another person feels this way. And so there's something about how honesty I'm getting is the ultimate thing, where you might be judging this in a way that it's based off of fear. It's based off of fear mongering. That's like telling you that it's not going to happen. It's something about how the Nine of Swords is like this fear mongering where it's telling you that your wellness is, how would I put it? Your wellness is less important than the connections and what keeps you in the state of Nine of Swords. So there's something about within you. Because I'm getting it's something where you have to first figure out within you before you change outside of what's happening outside of you. Having to look at your own judgment because you got in this way in the first place. And this is something where you would be looking back now at yourself back then, and you would be telling yourself back then, don't do that. Don't go down that way. Don't do this. Don't do that. That's kind of what gets you in the state. And so there's something about how berating yourself, shaming yourself, making yourself feel guilty for the choices that you chose to make that led up to this state. It's something about how that in of itself and believing that's how it is that you should be doing in terms of giving love to yourself. It's that needs to be liberated. That's what is the ancestral generational karmic curses, is especially with love and realizing that partners aren't always going to be partners for you, and then they might be players instead of partners. It's okay. You don't have to get played, okay? You don't even have to be in the game. The connection is the game itself, okay? So this is something where you can give death to the connection. Death ego, okay? How it is you just disconnect because you're like, I'm not gonna have my ego die anymore, okay? Because that's really what is happening, is your own ego is dying at the expense of someone else's actions in way of supporting their own ego, where their lust is supported more than like love, if you will. So in order for this to happen, where love will be stronger than fear, than lust, you have to first get to understanding within you, all right, what's up in terms of the subject matter. Like literally, we're like literally writing a story, y'all. And this is you in the story of self-love and liberation from delusions, from illusions of those who lied about who they really were in your life in terms of love. And where it wasn't really love in terms of what you found out, it was more so insecurity, fear that was in place of the love. And how you kind of can tell really is before, were you that kind of way insecure, or was it afterwards? And if it was afterwards, it might be something to do with the influence of who you were with at the time before you started to become like particularly insecure, if you will. And it's no big deal, because this is how we as human beings are evolving, with intellectually independent, cohesively connected, but like, are we connecting in the way that we think we are in terms of it? It could be connection through lust, through desire, through this need to get that instant fulfillment. And then also there could be the connection of love, of patience, perseverance, dedication, honoring, where you might be sacrificing today a little bit of time, energy, sweat, tears, this, that. Later in the future, it's a lot stronger because you have this intention where you don't mind letting things go in this kind of way, knowing that later on in the future, this kind of love, there's a love that's so much better in the way of you being you and whoever else being them. And miraculously, that's how it kind of works in the random like miracles of life. You randomly meet, and it's because you chose to be you, and miraculously they chose to be them at the same time, and you guys eventually will have that cohesiveness. It's this whole thing though of what to do when you feel impatient. And that's what I mean. Feel impatient. You're not impatient. You are patient in this. It's how can you handle, right? What can you find that inspiration for? You're like, man, I'm feeling this urge to really connect with this person, the physical. Little adult play, you know what I mean? A little therapy with yourself, you know what I mean? A little catch and release. What is it? Like you're throwing a baseball, like, whatever. But that's really it, is something about it. How can you have fun with yourself in way of making, if you will, having enjoyment with this whole thing of the waiting game, where like you staying true to you, the probability of you meeting someone who's like your true love, like fairy tale kind of destiny written in the stars relationship, is also going to be like a lot more kind of effective, efficient, easier managed when in turn you figure yourself out and let go in terms of them figuring themselves out and trusting that they are, because there's something about it where they are aware of you, you're aware of them. It's something where you don't know definitely yet, I'm getting, where like this Valentine's Day really seems interesting in terms of alignment for a lot of things, but it's something about how this other person is going to reveal themselves in way of it, but it's like you choosing to let go and caring for something that you already know is coming up, basically, where it's like you have this kind of like, let's say a graduation party and the date's coming up or whatever. You have this like appointment that's you're really excited for. It's like a love date, you know, like it's like a date, you know what I mean? You already know it's coming. So this is something where you don't have something physically definite. It's based off of feeling. It's based off of this thing though, where feelings can be kind of felt authentically and more so in like a delusion kind of way. And it's something about our choice in way where in the now, if we act in the authentic way, in the honest way, in the truthful way, it's something about that where that will align you a lot more efficiently in way, because you're realizing what to let go of, which will give you room for peace. And this, if you can get to room for peace, you can get room to harmony. And then this will allow, I don't know how it is, it's so amazing how your focus point gets so much more clear, sharper. I love it. We have the 6 of Swords and the 7 of Pentacles. So walking away, allowing yourself to, in the perspective of what you're looking at with the growth, like in the matter, in the port, I'm getting, it's like in the importance of the growth, what is best to walk away from? What is best to stop giving the very valuable source of care that you can give to the world? What is it to walk away from? Because in turn of what you have experienced, you're going to understand how you're connected in turn with like beliefs, opinions, how you see yourself, with accepting less than care from others as if it is what it is you're worthy of with care, if you will. Because there's something about how love and the act of caring for another is the act of sacrificing your own enjoyment for someone else. I'm getting you're used to having to sacrifice your own enjoyment for someone else. And this is something about how walking away is you allowing yourself to gain back your enjoyment, allowing yourself to gain back what it is that was causing you to lose a lot of what was not of your enjoyment. Boundaries, my friends, boundaries. Oh boy. Definitely for oneself in way of what you give out, in way of how you give out, in way of how you manage, also in turn of what you receive. How is it connecting in terms of you with your identity? In what way? Is it more of a pessimistic connection, optimistic connection? That's another way to also understand with connections, especially with love. Optimism is the best way to get to the opportunities that will get you the expansion of prosperity and abundance. Pessimism is the best way to get you to the limitations, to what has been sacrificed, what has been lost. And it's like that focus point. What do you want to focus on in the future? Do you want to focus on the loss and what has been lost and all that stuff? Do you want to focus on what is going to be gained? What is going to be of room of opportunity? And it's based off of what feels in terms of peace for you in the moment is when you're going to really allow yourself to understand. Eros, gotta love. I'm telling you, y'all, if you really are nervous about being alone and you're like, oh my gosh, I don't know. One, if you know other people who are like this, where they have experience of being alone and they still are, allow yourself to just see if you can reach out and see like their opinion of being alone. Because I choose right now to just like be alone. I'm just kind of waiting until I feel like I vibe with someone enough to like stir my heart and everything. But it's something about how it's this need to be with someone so that you feel that love, where if you're able to feel it within yourself on your own, you're not going to have that desire to have, in terms of what you think on the physical will help you feel that love, you won't have that desire anymore because you chose to walk away, cut the cords that would just, in your kind of way of perspective, it's almost like there's ways that we're like told of how life is, how love is, and like what we're supposed to give out and what we're supposed to receive. That's like lies. That's like the individual themselves that told you that convinced you that, was just trying to like, I don't know how, but be like dogmatic in a connection that's like a two-way street, if you will, where they were like driving down the middle of the road when like it's traffic is like coming both ways, you know what I mean? So something about that in terms of it, where it's like communication specifically, y'all, where you had a lot of illusions and way of people giving love that maybe they themselves also didn't realize their true intentions until you spoke up also, and you're like, oh, and they're like, oh, and we're like, oh. Because it's always about, with this, there's going to be stuff you don't realize. It's I don't know why, but yeah, we as human beings really hide our own truth, even from ourselves, because we're scared of how other people will act, how other people will be. And even though, like, in the moment, it might be painful to see someone react in a way where you're like, I totally thought you were different, it's also valuable to save you time and energy in putting in like authentic love in just a connection that's not even what it is, if you will. It's not love. It's a connection that's your love. They're not love. They're lies. They're illusion. And it's like they're playing themselves, if you will. Because really, though, players be playing themselves too. Because even players want love, you know what I mean? Even players be losing. No matter how good they are, they be losing. That's how every single human being realizes that we are students of life, you know what I mean? When you lose, you lose. Ugh. In the game of love, when you lose, ugh. That, oof, betrayal when it comes to love-based relationships. That's why it's really great to, yeah, just kind of like when you decide ultimately what to do, decide within you. You know, take outside of you and see, like, does that really resonate within me? And you're like, yes, I'll take it a little bit here and there, find the inspiration. But ultimately, it's you, baby. You got the best way of deciding what is for you in the moment of what to do. Okay, we have heart, love, affection, near a ring, marriage is suggested. Oh, wow. Look at the heart. I mean, stop. You're near my heart. Love you big. Big you love. Love you big. LYB. Love you big. LYBB. Love you big, baby. What? I get with that. It's funny. Also, I have to say, I really love my hairstyle. It reminds me of my senior photos in high school. I had like space buns. It was lit, yo. I was lit, and I prospered in high school, that's for sure. God of Thunder, Perunu, Slavic, a Slavic God of Thunder. Yeah, something about that, the whole wake you up inside. It does make me think of a recent wake me up inside moment I had personally, where I didn't realize I cared for someone as much as I did until something on the outside, like physically, someone else did something with someone else where it was like I had no part of it, but I saw it, and like it's something about how it kind of like broke my heart open in turn of it feeling again. And there's something about that for you specifically where you're gonna feel again in a way where it's something of breaking from the delusion. That might be also related to the ancestral generational karmic curses, where human beings, we put delusions on each other and we use this beautiful energy of love and we really toxify it with our own individual egoic intentions to manipulate what we know is the truth and what we can own up to now, but we don't want to because we're like, it's too painful. Later on, you will own up to it, and it's going to be in your physical body in the way of ailments, y'all. In the way of ailments, where our bodies also retain in terms of what we hold on to. And if we do hold on to our truth, but we project lies of who we like are, if you will, outside we'll eventually see in way of, are you worthy of being a trustful person in any kind of connection of whatever it is that you're connected with too. So the more that you're able to be connected in way of you being truthful, even if someone else isn't, doesn't mean that connection wasn't truthful to you. It means that there's something about this whole understanding that when it is you do connect with anyone, period, especially with love, if it is you get to a point where you realize that caring for someone else in a connection is sacrificing your own kind of love for yourself, and you'll realize this on your own, it's kind of like that's the time to really cut ties and just say, I'm done. And give yourself time to separate in terms of that. Distance makes the heart grow fonder. What is of illusion will start to, like fog or like smoke. Eventually it'll start to, dissipate? It'll start to basically get less and less dense, and it will kind of eventually clear out, if you will. And so I'm getting that you being part of these connections, separating, will clear out in way of you being part of the illusions in terms of it, where other people were interestingly slandering your name, trying to ruin your reputations in order for other people to get with people that you're truly connected with in terms of love. And so it's interesting where you're showing others who you're truly connected with in terms of love, that you were really caring for them, that you're really loving them, that they were in illusion. And there's something about how you're realizing how you yourself can detect this, which is interesting, where you yourself are so in the know of who you are in your own energy and how it is that you need to go in terms of growing your own energy so it's a lot more stronger, vibrant, because the more that the world knows you, the more that you grow in terms of, I don't know how it is, but expanding your energy, where you're able to connect with other people more and more. And there's something about how this is so interesting where you're kind of like realizing more and more how powerful you are. Like I'm getting the whole, I see it, I hear it from YouTube shorts, but maybe TikTok, I don't know, like kind of like something about waking up to how powerful you are. And it's like a woman waking up to the power, the true power in terms of the natural, like tuning into your femininity, where like you're creation, you're not destruction. Those who are trying to destroy you and what you create that's true to you is going to be called out, because they're the ones trying to slander your name, trying to ruin your reputation, trying to make it as though they are, yes, too big for their britches. They are like adults behaving in their own insecurities, and they're using it as a way to get leverage in a way where they think that illusions is how you gain like affection. Illusions is how it is that you gain people's trust. And you're someone who's like, oh, love is how you gain people's trust. You know what I mean? Being true to yourself and loving yourself and knowing when to walk away when you yourself aren't loving yourself in the connection and you're not giving out love. When to walk away from that is also such a strong form of like a leader, of like someone who can show others this is how you can love yourself, how you can support yourself, and also show and recognize that you do matter in ways that others probably put illusions on because of their own insecurities. Sumac tree, activation, grounding, protection, fire masculine series, Circe's series for the element, gender, and planet. Right? Like, whoo boy, in terms of every single one of us, okay, we got roots so deep, and it's like roots that's like, it starts with love. And it's this love that comes from appreciating you, period. Period. In the moment. How can you appreciate yourself, period? How can you give yourself a pat on the back and saying, I am so proud of myself for all the hard work, for all the things that I have sacrificed in way of building for my future to be better and not bitter. I am so proud, because honestly, the world needs that. The world needs the better and not the bitter. All right. Y'all are seeing literally outside in terms of all this societal changes, all the hubbub and everything, all the fear mongering that's trying to control the public. Individuals make up the public. Individuals are the ones trying to control too. We're all individuals in this. Like, that's what makes a group so powerful, is them thinking that they're one individual when every single person is different. And love is resonating through every single person. And in terms of change, in terms of where you want to change fear, and how it is that literally you can change those who you once feared into like connecting with love, is by you walking away and finding ways to connect with yourself in love, and then coming back, okay, when you're at a stronger place with yourself, and you showing, hey, I'm not scared of your fear, let's connect in love. And this is something that's so profound that you're going to send waves of growth in terms of the better, because you're coming back in a place where you are better, and you're not coming back in a place where you are bitter. And so like, let's make some revolutionary changes, yeah? In the name of love, baby. Yeah. Gonna gyrate my hips to the sound of love, baby. Gonna gyrate my hips to the sound of my heartbeat. Sorry, it's so nasty. Anyway, we got Angel. Abraxas, originally supreme being by Gnosticism, later became go-between people and God, creator of eons, rules 365 heavens. So definitely coming through in terms of you are the leader of your life, okay? You are the one who dictates what you give out, and what you accept is worthy enough for you in terms of, is it love? If it's not love, if it's not care, you have every right to say, no, that's not what I want. Walk away and give yourself that. This is the true power that anyone and everyone has, but it's something about the waiting game, all right? While you wait, when you made this realization that you do want to walk away, it's this way to make a plan as you wait. When you walk away, it's like something about that where it's like you want to walk away, where it's very much so as if one chapter ends and the next begins, where the story is continuing. And so with love and everything, I'm getting that there's something about that where you really want something where one chapter ends and the next begins, but there's this thing of needing to walk away from certain illusions that you have yourself kind of connected to in terms of love and who it is that you're giving out love right now to. I'm getting, we got Venus, goddess of love. What's up, goddess Venus? My goddess, I bow down to you. My goddess, I stay true to you. Show me the love, guide me to the stars, staying true. That's who we are. Goddess Venus, thank you for guiding me. Really though, it's so fun. 4, convene, meetings, social events, gatherings. Yo, 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 yo. I totally was getting the inspo to go to this, like, and normally I don't go to like social events, like city events. It's just something about like, I really don't have anyone that I know, so I'd be going to this event alone, and it's kind of intimidating because it's like a singles event, like it's a Valentine's love kind of event, and there's something about, for me personally, where I always feel a little bit intimidated being on my own when it comes to like needing to meet people. And so it's something about that where it's like, I feel personally the urge to go to like things like that, where it's like spotlit like that. I don't know if I'll go or not, but there's something about that where it's like how love is so much more stronger than fear in way of it, where you're kind of like accepting delusion and way of fear, where it's like, of course it's not going to work out. Stop, drop, and roll. Of course it's going to work. Because you be working it out, baby. Open up the legs, eh? You know what I mean? Like, allow yourself to really open up to the idea that you do make it work. That you did all you need to do in order for it to be true. Where it's like, even if I do go to the event alone, it'll be fine, because what will happen during the event will be so much up my alley, if you will, that it won't even matter. That I'll be so much in my own element that the fear that I had previously is not something that I'm going to have in my body. I'm going to have enjoyment instead. I'm going to be in the moment, because when you are in the moment in fear, you're not physically here. You're like, well, I mean, you time travel. Not like you're physically here, mentally, emotionally, the focus point is elsewhere. You're in the past. Fear is such a gateway feeling into the past of you literally like acting in the past as if the future will be the past. In the future, even though one has suffered, one will prosper eventually, but one has to realize in the moment that that's where you're going, is prosperity. Wow. That's so cool, y'all. We got arrow, difficult news. Look to where it's pointing. It's kind of pointing up, I guess. It kind of landed like towards you. Dang, so this might be a little difficult news. I don't know. If it is, I do apologize. I am attracting my twin flame now. I gotta say though, it kind of makes me think though, away from you with the arrow. Like it's not at you, it's something about how when you realize like how you've been acting isn't the way that you wanted to act, if you will. It's something about that in of itself is liberating if you can manage in a way where you were trying to come about it in like a love kind of connection, but it came in a way where it was more so harmful to others than you intended it to be. We have Catalpa tree, embracing uniqueness, esoteric studies, expressive creativity, spirit summoning, spirit masculine, and Uranus or Uranus for the element, gender, and planet. So it's definitely something about how if it is that you're on a spiritual journey, you're connecting in way of reconnecting to love that's true to you. And as I speak, I swear my solar plexus is like, it's kind of like when you chew gum, like peppermint gum or something, and you drink water, and how the water is so ice cold, refreshing that it kind of is unbearable. It feels like that right now. So this is something about, and also poor Lucy was just puking. So it's something about it where it's like stomach related and way of anxiety, and how it's liberating you from a lot of anxiety of having to perform and live and present yourself as a person that really isn't who you are. And really that's what it is, your gift is, that's what your responsibility is. Period, point blank, is you. Who you are is you. It's not outside of you, and whatever kind of, whoever it is, whatever individual, it is you. Access to my presence is destiny at work. To my presence? I definitely don't know if I wrote it right for the presence, but it's that whole thing of in the moment when you realize, that's where, okay, it's like in the moment when you realize about yourself in a certain way, there we go. You're like, oh, like it's a self-revelation. You're like, oh my gosh. And that's something about how those are moments of change where you're like, man, you know what? I'm going to contradict how I previously thought this about my standing in this. And I'm going to allow myself to see where I'm at and accept that I have made different mistakes in different ways. And how can I kind of go about correcting my own to get back onto what feels right for myself. I have a right to be here. To feel as though you have a right to define in terms of what you want from others with love. I'm getting specifically where a lot of people are contradicting in ways of how it is that you want another partner to kind of be, if you will. That doesn't mean that that person, it's something about how it is people work with you. I'm getting how it is people connect with you when it comes to this, like if it is specifically a romantic relationship, because you have to think about what is it on their end that they're kind of coming with you in terms of their standard, what they believe, their opinion. And you have to kind of form in a way of working. That's something about how it also works in the way outside of you as well. We have Isis, goddess of creation. So something about that. In that moment when you realize what you are connecting with, is it creating love? Yeah, it's gonna be like such a profound moment. You're like, you're like, oh man. Can't wait to spend the rest of my life with you, right? Like there is someone out there. And if you're someone who's been connected with people who make you feel like you don't have a right to be there, it's so awesome to think that there is someone out there that like can't wait to spend the rest of their life with you. Like they are excited to make those changes they need to in the mature way. Okay? This is where it's at, where they mature also in different ways as well. And this is something that will show you in ways that you want to see outside of you be received for you, in order to feel like, yeah, this person does seem like they're like something about changing themselves on a quick speed, if you will. Amma, Egyptian goddess, coming through. We got I am safe and secure for root chakra. We got why do I find and go to the best music festivals and concerts? Mentioned earlier about like something like City Hall event recently, or in the video. Something about that, where it's like seeing if you're able to be brave enough to go out and have a enjoyable time, right? Not expecting to connect with anyone, but connecting with someone. I'm kind of getting like giddy, yeah. Like we have, okay, I'm gonna try to pronounce this. I really, I'm sorry. Irdler is song, circumpolar goddess. I do apologize for the butchering. 'Twas not my intention, but 'twas what has happened. Oh, William Shakespeare's coming through. Romeo, Romeo, wherefore art thou Romeo? Deny thy father and refuse thy name, or if thou wilt not, be but sworn my love, and I no longer a Capulet. Yeah, I fucking love that shit. Snort some freaking William Shakespeare up this like love-based being, you know what I mean? Senasi, circumpolar goddess, coming through. And then we have Atabi, Caribbean goddess as well. All right, let's see what else. Yeah, it's really about that, where it's like when you know it is that you deserve different or you want different, it's just better for you different. It's better for you elsewhere. It's something about that that's really important to listen to and stay true to. We have introduction. Dream interpretation has been around for thousands of years, and there are several dream theorists who have analyzed and categorized different types of dreams and their meanings. Dreams are completely unique, and no other person can experience your dreams the way you do. So this is totally talking about love, y'all. You experience love the only way that you do. You detect in terms of it, and it's by you stating to others, this is how you do it, 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 because they're not going to know. You got to tell them. But something about how do you tell them in the way where it's not coming out as fear, but in a way where it's coming out in a way of love, in a way where you're gentle parenting them as well. Because it's something about how you can help your community in these ways where they themselves, who you're connecting with in different ways, that's more so a healthy parenting way of connecting. is also showing others how to connect in a gentle parenting way where previously they might not have. And so you're helping them expand in ways of connecting in love that's a lot more gentle and not as harsh, if you will. Because this does come down to each individual is given love as like a small child by their parental figures or the guardians, in way of not by the child's choice, but by the guardian, the adult themselves. And so it's something about that to remember when you go through this, where did you come from? How much as a kid did you sacrifice of your own for the care of others? And it is something where it's going to be really harsh at first to feel. It's going to hurt. I suggest going cautiously through it. Personally, I get really intimidated about going through this, but when I do, it's really helpful for me to see how it is that I'm toxifying my own love-based connections that I didn't realize. And then we have aliens. This could suggest feelings of being an outsider. So I'm going to end the video. Thank you for joining me. I'll see you in another video. Until next time, bye y'all.